everybody, it's Natasha Lee, aka your photo manager, and I'm here with week 5 of Project Life. This was an exciting week, super busy, so let's dive in, and this is what the page is going to look like, and I'm going to break it down and show you just how I got there. So I like to start with a previous page that has a design that I would like, so I've duplicated it. And then I'm going to double click and go into work on that page. And the first thing I need to do is remove all the images and the content that's in there. So I'm doing that, pretty simple, just getting rid of all the bits and pieces. And I'm quickly duplicating an image box that was missing there. And you've seen me do this in the other videos where I go to an old page, I copy the text, I paste it. And then what I'm doing here is I'm just grabbing one of the background papers that I've decided to use so that I can actually see what's going on with the text. And I update it to the correct date. And then shortly I'm going to be dragging in the week 5 and then positioning that over the week 2 and making sure that I get that all in the right place. I absolutely love that background whale image, and I'm definitely going to be using that a couple of times. Then I start to drag in the photos from the week and resize them. You can crop by zooming in and getting it into the right position. Happy with that, and I just update the text so that I can remember that that was a new crafting group that I attended. It was called First Thursdays and it was run by Yenbi, and that was great fun. We learned how to add embroidery to photographs, and I'm all about anything that's got anything to do with photographs. So I so enjoyed that. This was a lunch that we had with Yowzer's a crewmate, a fellow deckhand, and I was so grateful because it was because of her that he got his first job on the cruise. So that was very exciting. You can see here I'm just basically adding in individual blocks for the images on the right hand side. It doesn't suit me to have them as a grid. I actually need them individually because I'm planning on, you'll see in a minute, I'm going to join 2 pictures, which you can't do inside a grid. So I'm just making sure that those are the correct size. And then I add the picture where I'm going to be combining the brochure for the event and together with the photo of me working on the photo that I embroidered at the event. So I resize that, and then here I'm playing a little bit around to make sure that I can read the text that I'd like to read from that poster and remember in the future, and then still have them both work together there. Yeah, very happy with that. And I'm soon going to be moving on to the next item. So I need to grab another photo of something else that I did that weekend. Let's see, it's going to be the market, the iHeart Market. So I'm going to bring in the logo for that market. But before I do that, I'm just going to use the background remover, which is a pro feature, to get rid of that background because that won't look good on top of my other photo. And a tip that one of my YouTube subscribers, they told me to lock the image so that I could then drag the PNG file into position. So that worked really, really well. Thank you for the tip. And then I reposition that so that I remember that that photo was taken at the iHeart Market. And then I added Ali Edwards journal card. I removed the background because I wanted that to be pure white and it was slightly off-white. And then you'll see that I need to go and grab the journaling from my Apple Notes app, and I copy that and I jump back in and add a text box to my design and position the text box where I would like it to be. Whoops, struggling with that a little bit. And then I'm going to obviously make the text a bit smaller so I can fit in everything that I've copied and pasted. And then I'm going to resize it so that it fits comfortably in that gap. So a little bit of playing around. I wanted left justified, so or on the left hand side, so you can see me using that alignment tool. That's pretty similar to Word and other word processing programs. And I'm playing a little bit around with the size here to get it fitting as best I can, so as big as it can be, but still able to stay within the space that's allocated for the journaling. Okay, then I just need one more picture. So I go back to my project source and I bring in the picture of us coming back from the airport. We went to go and fetch my nephew. That's very, very exciting. He's coming to spend 3 weeks with us. So that was a thrill going out to the airport. And yep, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Okay, so now I'm going to go and do some searching on whale history in Durban because I like to add information to my projects. And I found a really good website, Facts About Durban, and it deals with the whaling. So I'm going to copy this article, the entire article. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to CHAT GPT and I'm going to ask CHAT GPT to basically summarize the article and put it in a format that I'm going to be able to include on my pages. So I'm here, you can see me typing the prompt, summarize this article using dates for paragraphs or dates to head paragraphs, and then the topic is obviously whaling in Durban. And it really is incredible how quickly ChatGPT can get this task done. Okay, so I hop over, copy the text, go back to ChatGPT, paste the text, and then allow it a little bit of time to generate the information that I want. Gosh, this is amazing. So now I have it in a format that is small enough to bring into my project. So I'm beginning to look for a whaling logo because I want to add this information under something which kind of is a heading showing that this was a tour that we went on. So I found this gorgeous logo and I just updated it to say Durban Whaling History Tour. Love what it looks like. Play around a little bit here. Put the tour operator's name here, David Neilson. That was such a lot of fun. And then I group the logo together, and I'm going to now be bringing it into the page where I'm going to add all that glorious information that I found and had summarized by ChatGPT. So I'm resizing the logo and I'm going to reuse that gorgeous background paper that I found earlier. So you can see me putting that here on the right hand side. I need to position it behind the logo, so I'm sending it to the back. And then I'm going to use the transparency function to fade the paper so that it's just there, but actually the important part is the logo. Then on the left hand side, I'm going to be bringing in a whole lot of photos that I've found, historical photos, but they're very low resolution. So I've decided that there's about 18 of them, 17, 18. So I bring in a 6-picture grid, and then I'm going to duplicate that grid 3 times so that I've got a space for 18 photos. And here you can see I'm just playing around a little bit, just making sure that I've got the spacing and the sizing correct. And just happy with how it looks on the page. Then I'm going to go to the place on my computer where I've got those images saved. I'm looking under design and then history. And here you can see that here's my, I think, 17 images. So I select them all, just deselecting that Word document over there, and bring them into Canva. And then what I'm going to be doing is populating the design with these fairly low res images. And looking at them, I can see that there are some sepia, there's some color, and I'm going to try and make it visually appealing by placing the photos according to what would enhance the design. Okay, so I sped the process up a little bit here, but you can see that I'm essentially just populating the images. I just love the sepia tones and love the way this works. Okay, now I'm going to go to design templates and I'm going to be looking for a timeline infographic. I'd like to present that information that I've got summarized in ChatGPT in a way which is visually pleasing, and I love this one. So I think that's the design that I'm going to be using. This is going to be a separate page. So I open a new page and I'm going to go in there and make some adjustments. What I decided to do was to copy the number of years that I needed and paste it into my design and reposition. And you can see I've sped up my work quite a bit here, but because this next section is quite finicky. So here I am just removing the bits and pieces of the design that I don't need. I'm just getting that background out of the way, pulling the lines over. And then I'm going to the first paragraph, grabbing the year and changing the year. But because I've got from 1907 until 1912, I need to adjust the size of the year. And so I decided to delete all the others and duplicate the resized year, because I want them all to be the same size. So then I go in and copy the correct years, duplicating, copying, pasting. A little bit of a tedious process, but I just know that the end result is going to look just how I like it. And if I hadn't started with one of those infographics, then this part would have been much slower, and I don't think I would have been able to come up with something so pretty. And here you can see that I begin to add the paragraphs, and clearly I can see that this is going to be not going to fit in very easily, so I have to adjust the size of the text. And also I want to highlight the title for each paragraph and then space that so it's slightly separate. I can immediately see that I'm going to have to space this out a little differently, because I've got extra space at the bottom and the paragraphs are quite large. So there's me playing around with the adjustment, and it's going to take me a little while to get it right. Okay, so here I'm highlighting the dates, and then I'm changing the font color to match the logo. And I love this at the bottom, change all the orange to blue. So just in one button, I'm able to change all of those dates to blue, and they match the logo. I've just ungrouped it here so that I can actually change the lines. I'm using the same technique of picking another color and then clicking the change all button, and all the lines then change. And I'm just loving what this looks like, this information next to all the photos. And I'm just going to fade the background paper a little bit more, just so that I can read clearly, because I do have quite a lot of text there, and I really am very, very interested in all the historical data. Okay, onto this page. I'm going to replicate that for you. So first of all, I'm going to locate my image, position it correctly. Love the sea in the background there. And then I'm going to grab a beautiful Ali Edwards Explore PNG, and I'm going to click Edit Photo, and then I'm going to click on Shadows, and in there you will find the option to add an outline, and it added the black by default, but I'm changing that to white. So drag it up to the white corner of the block, and then that feels a little bit heavy for me, so I'm going to bring down the size of the stroke on the outside there, the outline, and I love that. So I think that is just, I love the colors and the background. And now I'm going to grab a text box because I want to add a subtitle, and I position the subtitle beneath that PNG that I had added, and I'm just jumping up to the page above to copy the text that's going to go in here. So I copy text and paste, and then sort of reposition it to the size that I'd like it to be, and I'm also going to highlight it all here, and then I'm going to change to the CK Ali's font, because that's the sort of look and feel that I'm going to be carrying through my book in a lot of places. I see I actually forgot the footprints here, but you can just add those by searching under elements and footprints. That's pretty easy to add in. Okay, a little banner or flag in the bottom right hand corner, just sort of offset it from a balance point of view. I've got the text on the left, and then I've got this little flag banner in the bottom on the right hand side. And now I'm on to my next page. So I'm grabbing a grid. I want a grid with 8 pictures. That's going to be on the top of my page. So you can see me here just sort of pulling that grid into place. And then I'm going to go to my photos, and the reason I've left this big space at the bottom is that there was this awesome photograph of my dad with a whale, which I just knew I needed to use in a panoramic style. So I'm dragging that. I don't really want to see the car, so you can see I sort of dragged it off the edge there, and I really just want to get the 3 whales in the picture. So I resize that, and then I'm going to pull the grid down so that it can match the size of the whale. Oh, I love that. And here's us listening to the presentation, and then I'm really just sort of filling the spaces with various shots. You can see the sky was beautiful. We were exploring the coast at the Bluff, where there were the old ruins of the whaling station. It was incredible to walk through those buildings. I'm very happy that the whaling has ended, and that now the coast is actually celebrated for whales coming back. But there's our harbour, and that was actually the Bluff Country Club where we had lunch afterwards, and love this. That's actually the QE2 that you can see docked there. Just love the views. And what I'm wanting to do is, I'm just cropping and fiddling and just getting the images so that they can take up as much space as they can within the blocks. And then you'll see that I'm going to start looking for I'd like to write some text. Before I do that, I just added a PNG that matched the one that I put on the page before. And now I'm going to elements and travel quote, and I'm looking for a kind of a quote box to add. And I find one which looks fairly modern, and I feel like I can fit some text in that. And then I reposition it, and now I'd like to make it match the colors of my design. So I click on there and go up to the edit panel, and I change to the colors of orange and green, which match that beautiful explore PNG that I added to the page before. And then I'm going to add my text box, and then as I normally do, I've got my text in my Apple Notes. So you'll see me jump to the Notes app, copy the text that I had pre-written, and then paste it back into the quote box over here. And then I'm simply going to be resizing the information, and that's it. So thanks for joining me, everybody, and please like and subscribe so that you can see all the different designs that I'm adding into my project life, and you can look forward to week 6.